Hello and welcome to another episode of Business Spotlight. I am Teresa Strong-Myrick with Action Coach Tampa Bay, and today we have with us Michelle, and I'm going to mispronounce your last name.
It's
Is it
Lowther.
Lowther? Oh goodness. So thank you for joining us. I'm just going to give you the opportunity to tell us more about your business, what you do, who you serve, and how long you've been doing it.
Sure. Okay, so my name's Michelle. I own Lowther Legal. It's a law firm that specializes in nonprofit and churches, so nonprofit businesses and churches. I do anything from the formation steps, like just as simple as filing your state of Florida stuff, all the way through getting a nonprofit recognized by the IRS as a 501c3. I also do day-to-day consultations with some nonprofits. I get calls about fundraisers or, hey, we want to raffle this thing off. Can you maybe research and give us a checklist on how to do that, just to be sure that we're in compliance with all the state and federal regulations? I have one nonprofit that I keep track of all of their donors for them because they just don't have anybody to do that. So anytime a donation comes in, I have a spreadsheet and I send out a thank you. Here's your receipt. Here's your nonprofit taxable donation receipt. And then at the end of the year, I have all of their accountings so that they can take that to their accountant and do something with it. So basically anything nonprofit, regulations, day-to-day or formation, that's what I do. I've been an attorney about 8 years now, and I did a lot of litigation, and it was tiring. And I took a leap of faith and I went to go work for nonprofits and churches, and I fell in love with it. And so it was kind of presented in why don't I turn this into a law firm? And instead of working for just one or two nonprofits, I can have clients that are nonprofits. And all the new clients, they loved that idea. They were fine with that.
Right.
And they all just told each other about it. And so it's just become, I'm the nonprofit person in Pinellas County. And it just seems that all the nonprofits know each other. And so it just kind of flowed really, really well. And nobody seemed to mind that I was no longer their employee. And it's just something that I absolutely wake up loving to do every single day now.
That is so exciting and so remarkable, because the at the point that I heard you say that you work with nonprofits as an attorney, I was like, who does that? I know no one else. Literally, I know
Yeah.
no other attorney who focuses in on this, and I can imagine how rewarding it is. I've seen some of the work you've been doing as well, and some of the nonprofits that you're working with. So, what is the benefit to having an attorney working on? We know that
Yeah.
all the intricacies, so of course, but how do you help them differently than them going to someone else?
Sure. I will say I give this number a lot. It's probably 90% of my clients come to me because they hired somebody else to do it for them. And it ended up, God love them. It ended up going wrong. And so the IRS comes back and says, sorry, this paperwork's not right. You got to start all over. So now not only did they pay somebody else, now they have to pay me to do it. And so I think the benefit is I do this day in and day out. That is what I do. I do nonprofit stuff. You can go to an accountant who happens to maybe know how to form something, or you can go to another attorney who maybe does some of that stuff on the side. But I think the experience that comes with staying in your lane and staying in a particular area of business, it allows you to experience all the bumps in the road, all the things that could happen and could go wrong because you've done it before and you've seen it with different types of nonprofits. Whereas somebody who maybe touches on a little bit of nonprofits or maybe knows how to fill out one part of this paperwork, they don't do it all the time. And the paperwork changes and the rules change. And being an attorney in that area, I'm getting the updates and I'm getting the news releases from the IRS, and I know what they're looking for, and I know what changes need to be made, and I know what language they need. And that is something that an attorney, we go to law school and we are trained on how to write legally and how to draft things. And a part of the IRS application, you have a big essay section where you have to write and explain what it is that you're doing with other people's money and how you're going to be a good steward of other people's money. So I think there is a benefit in any industry in finding
Right.
somebody that does that particular thing that you're looking for, because you want to make sure it's done right the first time.
Right. And I'm sure it takes a lot of pressure off of them, a lot of stress that, it's being done correctly and they're not having to worry about putting the right words in and
Yeah.
reaching. And so I just really love what you do. So last couple of years been a little tumultuous for many of us. So how have you adjusted? What have you seen change? Have you had to do to pivot in your business?
Um,
Or if any?
Honestly, I think the working from home thing works really well for this area of practice, because a lot of my business, or a lot of my clients, are businesses. And
Mhm.
so some of them are fine meeting over the phone or meeting virtually, and a lot of them are local. And so they love that I'll just pack up and come to them for a meeting.
Nice.
Because business, and they have a place, and they have all their employees or their board members sitting right there, and it's easy for me to come to them. So I think that shift, while hurtful for some industries, for this one, it's been a smooth shift. Um, I find it pretty easy to work from home and work
Mhm.
virtually, or to travel to my clients, especially not needing to be in a courtroom anymore. I was in a
Right,
courtroom for
right.
so long, and I wasn't used to just
Mhm.
sitting behind my desk doing all the research all day. And so that's a big shift in and of itself, is just this entire industry that I've shifted to.
Right, exactly. Awesome. So you're able to do the hybrid approach. I
Yeah.
can do most of it from home, but if I need to show up, I can show up and have that one-on-one with them in person as well. So
Yeah.
awesome. I love that. So what has been your biggest learning as a business owner?
I think that the biggest surprise and learning curve has
Mhm.
been that there are seasons in business, and especially with the type of client I have. Not everybody has a nonprofit, right? So this is not something that, everybody needs an attorney who's nonprofit, whereas everybody may need an estate planning attorney, everybody may need a will. Um, that's been a big learning curve, because nonprofits have seasons. They have seasons where they have funders, donations coming in rapidly, and so they're finally ready to hire that attorney to do this thing that's on the back burner. And then there
Mhm.
are seasons where they don't have a lot of donations coming in, so they have these projects that they really need to get done, but they can't afford to do them. So just learning different seasons in nonprofit industries, and when the ups and downs are, that's been a crucial part of it. It's just learning the nonprofit
Right.
industry and the seasons that go with it.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And is there like a certain time of the year, or is it just a season within their own culture?
I think that a lot of nonprofits do a lot of fundraising and a lot of donations in the fall and the winter. They all have those
Gotcha.
end of the year galas. And so they're all ready to hop on those projects right in January, in the beginning of the year. But then they take a big pause until about the end of summer. And it seems about August and September, they pick back up, almost like with the school year. Um,
Hmm.
that as soon as school picks back up, the nonprofit industry picks back up. And so, yeah, and I'm not sure if that's across the board with all other industries, but that is for sure what I've seen and I've been finding with nonprofits.
That's interesting. So do
Yeah,
you help them actually navigate through that season?
I do for some of them. Some of
Okay.
them, I will sit in on board meetings, and they're brainstorming different end of the year fundraisers, and how can we capture this the best, and what kind of donors are we looking for, and what kind of a fundraiser should we do. I sit on those board meetings, and I let them brainstorm, and then if you guys want my legal opinion, on stuff. And so, yeah, I'm there. And if people invite me to sit in on board meetings, I do so. If I get an email of, here's what our idea is, does this look okay? I help them navigate through that, and just different things that they need to think about, especially new nonprofits who haven't gone through a fundraising season, or who
Gotcha.
haven't gone through, what kind of a donor are you looking for, or are you starting to pick up new activities that really aren't in your mission? Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Just because you want to raise money because it's the end of your first year doesn't mean that you should probably start picking up things that aren't within your mission. That might actually lose you your original donors. So yeah, I help them
Mm.
think through all of that.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. So thank you for your time. I appreciate you. But before we go, what keeps you motivated? I think I kind of know, but what keeps you motivated?
Um, Honestly, I feel like I get to do some good in the community. And
Mhm.
I absolutely wake up loving my job, and it keeps me motivated knowing there was a season in my life where I had to wake up and go to court every day. And I was just that dreadful. And so the fact
Mhm.
that I wake up and absolutely love what I do now, that keeps me going. Wow, I feel so blessed. And I feel so grateful that I'm in a season where I love what I do and I love helping others. And I actually feel like I'm making a difference.
That's awesome and so inspiring because I'm sure there are other attorneys out there who are feeling the way you were feeling before, and to see that you did something so specialized, and it's making you happy. I just really, really love that.
Yeah.
How many times have I said I love that in this video?
I love it too. I never thought that I would find that area, because this area of law doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
It's not popular. It's something that I kind of just said, hey, I can use my law degree to do this. And yeah, I feel for anybody who wakes up not really enjoying what they do.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so much of your life.
Exactly. And I've been there too. And I'm at the spot now where I really love what I do too. So that's why I resonate with you so much. So tell us before we go, is there anything coming up that you want us to be aware of?
Oh, there's a lot. So, I mean, not for me, not
Mhm.
with me specifically, but all of my clients. We are entering into nonprofit season. Um,
Mhm.
so, just look for ways that you can get involved. And I always encourage people, if you want to get involved, reach out to me. And I have a
Mhm.
list and a database of nonprofits,
Yes.
whether they're my clients or they're not my clients. I'm aware of nonprofits in the area that, maybe you want to serve in a very specific role. I want to volunteer doing this with teenagers and I want to tutor them in math. Like, that's very specific, but I bet I can find you a
Hmm.
nonprofit that has an event coming up or has a need, because it is that end of the year and they are, crunched for time. So that's
Hmm.
coming up. I mean, I'm always encouraging people, just reach out to me and I will match you with a nonprofit gladly.
That's beautiful. Yeah. And I see you in the community doing that. I see you just promoting the different businesses or the different nonprofits and what they're doing, what they have coming up. So what I'll do is I will of course put all your contact information in the description on this video so
Okay.
people can reach out to you. So thank you so much again for your time. I appreciate you. And
Cool.
thank you all for watching again another episode of Business Owner Spotlight. We'll see you again soon.